Bente 39, we zitten hier op het eerste bouwnummer. We lopen zo meteen even met Alexander Vrolijk, de geestelijk vader van het hele project, over de boot. Oceaanzeilig, praktisch en snel.
I would say it's a crossover concept that we've designed between ocean-going vessels, raceboats and family cruising. It's very hard for us to define it. Many journalists and magazines have asked me, what is it and who is your comparison? And that is very difficult to compare ourselves with others for us. Because if you look at a Pogo, for example, it's a very nice boat, but it's a bit more extreme than us. When you look at an RM, it's also a very nice boat, but it's maybe a bit more old-fashioned when we look at the building methods compared to what we're doing here. When we look at the modern Dela or J-boat, we don't compare ourselves to these kinds of boats, as we see them as production family boats. Very nice boats, if you ask me, but it's something different we're doing here on this boat. And this was for us the focus, to develop a platform that is ocean-going, that is easy to handle, where I can take my wife, where I can go a bit racing around the can, so maybe do long distance races, but not do the keel week up and down sailing thing. Then it's the wrong boat for that. Then you rather buy the J99 over there or something for this. If we go to the back, normally we have the spreader somewhere here, the shrouds. You can hold on here all the way to the back because it's quite a big piece of equipment. What is interesting, the people always doubt it, but you can really do what you want on this boat. It's really strong enough. Sorry. And then what's quite nice is when I go down here, and you can stay up there, we have a helmsman podest here. So I'm up here when I'm, let's say, in the harbor, or if I can't see good. And not good enough, because when I'm down here I can already see very well to the front. And we have this Klappe in German. We have it to sit here on the side actually and be able to helm. So I look past the Dodger, I don't see the Dodger in any mean, I'm back in the fence. I have the Traveller in front of me. So that's my emergency brake on this boat, because we have a big square top main. If you ease the main sheet, not a lot is happening. A lot of sheet is going, but if I release the Traveller, we are off directly. And then what many people described as, it feels new, but it has been there many times, is this cockpit solution. So now when we look at it, I'm with my wife and kids and my dog. I have a 40-kilo dog that has to go sailing with me. I'm here on the top and they're down there. They're forbidden to go up here. Everything up here is me, everything down there is kids and family. And we've managed that we have this little step down here, but if you go down this little step, you feel safe, and if you go up here, you risk your life. Because sounds funny, but when you're out on the ocean, we sailed several nights with the boat, on the deliveries, because we never had time. And when you sail in 10 knots or more, reaching in 20 knots or more of wind, this is exciting, this boat, because you're not going with 8 knots of wind slowly downwind, you go very quickly downwind. And as soon as you really think twice before taking a pee on a boat like this, you really chain yourself in and do the thing. People said, oh, this is not single-handed. I said, how can it be not single-handed? Because on a single-handed boat, I don't helm. Full stop. It's like that. I only helm when I feel like helming or my autopilot is broken. On board here we have from NKI a very nice high definition with a processor installed. It can help better than you and me at night, definitely. At daytime it's very good, but at night we suck because we don't see the wave. That's the problem. And so on the normal offshore condition, I was just standing here. You have the Dodger in front of you. Yes, I designed the boat for myself, so I can just look over it. And you could come off your watch when you were off watch. When you come, you were in your normal trousers and not sailing gear. You just come out, you check the situation, you put on your gear you need, you get back out here. Then we have the control from NKI. Here I have the autopilot. Here we don't have it now. We have here an iPad hanging normally with a charger, a water hose-proof little plug thingy. We have a radar on the back. We have IES, active and passive IES. So on the iPad we have the radar IES overlay. On there the autopilot. Actually at the end you're just sitting here all the time like this. You look a bit forward because you can see through the Dodger. It's quite easy actually. As you can feel already directly, the two of you, it's a lot of air actually in the boat. We really have a lot of space above us. I mean, we still have to see it's a 38-foot boat. Bente 39, but she's 38.7 foot or something. And from the concept, there was a lot of worth of discussion, because many people, if I tell them I'm designing a 40-foot boat that doesn't have standing height throughout the boat, Yeah, they all jump off their marketing chairs, bam! Yeah, in the big companies that we work with together, for example, sometimes. And I tell them, yeah, it's okay if that's the purpose of the boat, but if the boat has a very sportive purpose, for example, then I do not require the standing headroom everywhere in the boat as long as it's not compromising the living. Yeah, what I mean by it, here we're actually standing in the kitchen. Yeah, so now if we look at it, I come from the outside, I come in, yeah. I go down here, I have something to hold on, I have something to hold on here, I come down, and this is a very underrated place, because on here you put all your sailing gear. People don't understand it, but you take off your jackets and you just tie them all up here. I can inspect the engine from here, I can pull away the stairs from there, yeah. Then I'm down here and I'm in the middle of the kitchen, but people don't realize it's quite funny. Cooker, sink, it's logic. Here we have the fridge. Rudy, our fridge. Ah, funny you remember it. Then here we have all the cutlery and knives and so on. My wife is really an organization freak, yeah, so every knife has its place and every glass has its place. Here we have another fridge pull-out. That's my wife's fridge, I always joke, because she hates top loaders to put in eggs and butter and so on. We know what she's speaking about. Then here we have a switchboard hidden. It's from Seamarine. It's quite fancy digital canvas system. It's so all wireless controlled main switches, and you can watch the battery status, tanks and so on. It's relatively interesting. It doesn't look like so much space. So we have a beautiful PVC cover on here now. But now I'm in the bunk. So I'm extremely deep in the bunk. It's not a lot of space here on this boat because we wanted big mattresses. You could reduce the mattress, increase the height if you want. You can sleep longitudinal or transversal how you want it. There's a lee sail, we call it in German, I think it's the same in English, that you can put here. So you don't roll below the cockpit if you just sleep here while you're sailing. Yeah, and so we said it's a sailing bunk, it's not too much space. What is interesting is the hatch. It's an escape hatch, one point, but the main point of it is communication to the people in the cockpit. That's really what we felt was the strong point on the deliveries we had, that you could continuously speak, what are you doing, what are you doing? And my wife is more still this kind of person that says, I see green and now I see red and now I see red and green at the same time. Yeah, and that's like when I come out of the hatch. Here we have a big locker, below is everywhere storage, fuel tanks below here, storage below the seat, nice spots already on the new cushions. Yeah, and for me, that is what I find the beauty of my job. You have to combine mathematics, physics and art very close together. And only if you tick the three boxes, then I think it's a nice boat. And if you now make extremely good looking boat that doesn't work, where we could not sit, where we could not go on the toilet, where we couldn't eat and so on, then I would say, okay, shit. Yeah, but as long as the concept is working that you had in mind, yeah, then it's up to the client at the end of the day. And design-wise, we don't need to speak about it. That it would look horrible with 15 centimeters more. What we did though, we lowered the floor structure by 5 centimeters on boat number 2 and 3. We were able to do that. The boats now get something like 12-15 kilos more heavy. We need to add a bit of laminar to reduce the span of the beams in the bottom. But we did that now, so here would be a 5 centimeter step now down. Okay. Yeah, it's not going to help a lot if you ask. Yeah. Then the forward bunk. My wife and me, we planned that this is our sailing bunk. It's purely made for sailing. It's not a lot of comfort in, or not a lot of height and space and so on. When you're sailing, it's very funny because you can really freely turn around. Yeah, and be like a sea star kind of. Yeah. But here it's a very nice bed to sleep in because you have a mattress for my wife. It's made. This one is made for me, so for the weights of us and so on. And you can lay here perfectly from the length, if you ask me. Normally you sleep the other way around. You look out of the hatch from the head to the mast. You look out on the water on this side. Normally I'm not a fan of hull windows, not at all, but it's more from the production perspective than from the look perspective, because they make trouble. But on this boat we all said definitely the boat needs windows, and I think they don't harm the optics from the outside, because there's so many edges anyway already in it that you don't really see it. Yeah?
They don't stand out.
Don't stand out too much. Here we have soft doors, here we have soft doors. It's all possible to order it with fixed doors if you want a fixed door here, but I would always keep the forward as light as possible. The standard price was, until now, 178, including German VAT. That was the launch edition, and we now went up to 197.